Hello and welcome to the PC Gaming Vortex. My name is Hikaro, and this is our first episode for our Star Wars The Old Republic series. This series will be a tutorial and Let's Play series, much like our other series, taking you through the game from the beginning with myself and DarkRelic. We are going to be making a Republic side character. In this game, it does actually allow you to choose from the Republic or the Sith Empire. We are going to be choosing the Republic. What we will do is we will take you through the character creation in this first episode, and then I will be joined after that by DarkRelic, and we will actually go through the game starting at level 1, teaching as we go with new concepts, etc., and you can experience the game with us. So the first screen it goes to is it's going to ask you which class you want to choose. There are 4 classes available to each side, so this is the Republic side classes. There's the Jedi Knight, the Jedi Consular, the Trooper, and the Smuggler. These 4 classes are very varied what you could do with them. For example, the Jedi Knight at level 10, you actually split off and you can choose a path. The path, they're completely different with this class. You can either be a tank, which is going to be a 1 lightsaber, kind of a heavy armor focus, or you could be a damage dealer, a DPS dealer with 2 lightsabers, the dual wielding thing with medium armor. Completely different playstyle to the character. You make that choice at level 10. We'll go through all of them here. The Jedi Consular's advanced class choices make you either a healer with damage output or a tank with damage output. So you actually can go either way. You can go tank or you can go healer with the Jedi Consular. And those 2 are the Force-using classes. So those are the ones that are going to have the lightsabers. Those are going to be the ones that are going to use the Force powers, etc. The other 2, the Smuggler and the Trooper, are going to be a little differently. They're going to use guns and cunning and things like that to get through things. They're also going to use the cover system in the game, which is pretty slick. These 2 choices are Gunslinger and Scoundrel. You can either be DPS with 2 pistols, or you can also be a healer with DPS, and then you'll have a blaster pistol along with a scatter gun. So once again, very different roles on those 2. With the Trooper, you're going to have a choice to go between either Commando or Vanguard. The Commando is going to be a healer with DPS. You're going to have an assault cannon and heavy armor. Or if you're a Vanguard, you're going to be a tank. You're going to have a blaster rifle. You're still going to have heavy armor. Both of these have heavy armor associated. So when you're picking a character, make sure that you really dig deep into their advanced classes to make sure that you're picking one that's going to fit the role you want to be. Most games you pick the one that looks like they have the coolest abilities, whatever suits your fancy, but in this specific one, if you want to be a tank or a healer, don't choose the Jedi Consular, because those are the 2 things that they're going to be, for example. You definitely want to make that choice based off that. So what I'm going to play is I'm actually going to be playing a Jedi Consular. DarkRelic is going to be a Jedi Knight, and we are going to take the 2 Force classes through as a duo. Later on, we might be joined for some other people, some people from other series, and maybe even some new faces as we go along. But at the beginning, it's just going to be myself and DarkRelic. Okay, so we'll choose Jedi Consular, move to the next screen. Next screen is going to be race. There are 5 choices for race. There is the human, the... I can never pronounce these very well. The Mirialan, I assume. There's the Twi'lek, the Zabrak, and the Miraluka. I'm actually going to be a Miraluka. I'm a big fan. They have no eyes, born without eyes, and they use the Force to see, which I think is kind of cool. The biggest choice aside from the look of the character when you're choosing your race is going to be directly with their social ability. Each one gets a different social ability, which can be seen here. The social ability doesn't seem to be a combat thing. It seems to be a conversational piece from what we can tell. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with it yet, but being as the game takes place in a lot of conversations and a lot of choices and morality choices, I have a feeling that they're going to come into play there. So I'm going to choose, like I said, the Miraluka. And we're going to hit next here. Now you can choose if you want to be a woman or a man, and I chose the wrong one. I am going to be a guy.
And my order.
Another cool thing about this game is every class, male and female version of each class, is voice acted by a different voice actor. And they got some pretty big voice actors for this. They got Jennifer Hale, which is a voice actor in the Mass Effect series. They got Nolan North, which is a voice actor, if I recall, from Uncharted and a bunch of other stuff. And Nolan North is actually who voices the male Jedi Consular, which makes me very happy because I'm a big fan of his work. So, okay, so different choices for customization of the character are pretty basic. These are the pretty standard choices you would see as you go along. I already have a guy pretty much set up here, so we'll just go to what he looks like so we don't have to take too long here. Maybe I didn't have it set up as well as I thought I did. There it is. Okay, no scars on my guy. His complexion. is going to be back here. There we go. If you're playing one of these characters, do the hair before you do the mask, because the mask does actually cover up the hair on a lot of the hairstyles. There we go. Okay, and then my mask is right back here. There we go. And there he is. And that's really all there is to the appearance. There's not a whole lot. It's very similar to the World of Warcraft style game where the custom appearance of the character is very limited. Gear does change the way you look in this game though, so that's going to make big changes as you go along in the game. Okay, so we will choose a name here, which will be familiar to anybody that watches my other series. And we'll head in. This game is very story-based, much more than any other MMO I've played, including DDO, which is also very story-based. This game is all about making choices on light side or dark side, and really digs deep into the concepts of morality and what you want to do in each situation. Very similar to the Knights of the Old Republic games that this is based off of. You'll see as we go through that a lot of the choices you make will give you light side points or dark side points, and we'll show you how to determine that when that comes up. But the light side points and the dark side points actually you'll gain points like in a pool. And certain items in the game require you to have a certain level of those points in order to use. So for example, you might get a lightsaber that requires you to have light side 3. So you would have to make enough light side choices and not enough dark side choices to counteract them to be at 3 level of the light side so that you can use that specific item. It's kind of a balancing system. Very well done in my opinion, and very much the same way it was done in the original series of the single-player games back on the Xbox. So each character class has its own storyline, which I think is awesome. This is a background story for our storyline. The 2 Jedi classes start in one area, and the other 2, the Smuggler and the Trooper, start in another area. So this is a story for the Jedi classes, with, of course, the wonderful Star Wars fanfare. The music in this game is absolutely fantastic. Being as they have access to all the Star Wars music, it makes it very epic. We should be jumping in here any second. If any questions come up as you're playing through the game or as you're watching the videos, feel free to leave them in the comments. We're always happy to answer any questions that might come up. We are learning certain aspects of the game as we go, but we're trying to make sure that we learn as much as we possibly can as quick as possible so that we can answer questions as they arise. And we're going to start right into the storyline here, and you'll see how you make choices within the storyline of what you want to say. Of course, the entire game is voice acted, very well voice acted, which adds a huge amount of depth to the game in my opinion. It really makes the storylines pop. There is no need to read quests when the quests are basically acted out in front of you. Very cool stuff. As you'll probably notice in the upper left-hand corner, this is where the typing system, the chat system is. Also, if you'll see here, it says Tython 76. It means I'm in phase 76 of this zone, being as this game's being new. A lot of people are playing right now, so it will phase you. So if you're looking for a friend, chances are they're in another phase. Just send them an invite. It should help you phase back to them.
Ah, Padawan. I heard your shuttle arriving. I am Master C.O. Bakar of the Jedi Council. Welcome to Tython. This is the ancestral home of our order, where the Jedi first came to be, and where our most promising Padawans complete their training.
If you'll notice, the choices at the bottom actually popped up before he finished talking. That's because if you make your choice before he finishes talking, it'll just flow right through like a normal conversation. There'll be no delay. You'll get to the point where you'll get really good at picking the options and knowing where they're located, so it'll get to the point where the conversations actually do happen in real time, which is very cool. So we'll go ahead and 1, 2, or 3 we'll actually choose, so we'll hit 1 here.
I'm surprised a member of the Jedi Council would come to meet me.
I wanted to meet the student who's caused such a stir. Your instructors tell me that even in childhood, you had a remarkable connection to the Force. We haven't seen such power in decades. I was hoping your new master would be here.
Apparently the Force is strong with this one.
And is returning to Tython specifically to train you.
Is Master Yuan an archaeologist?
In a way. As you become her Padawan, never forget your initial training, nor the Jedi Code. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. This is... Yuan, I was beginning to worry.
So you've arrived safely, my Padawan. I'm sorry I can't greet you properly, but we already have a crisis on our hands.
I'm at your service, Master.
Tython is a treasure trove of ancient Jedi relics. Recently, our researchers uncovered several teaching holograms, but they've not been fully studied. These holograms may be records of the founders of the Jedi Order. They're absolutely irreplaceable. But a large group of flesh raiders has begun rampaging through that region. Those priceless holograms are in danger.
I've never heard of flesh raiders before.
The Flesh Raiders are Tython's natives. Savage cannibals who destroy everything in their path.
Including the hologram's projectors. Combat teams are pushing the Flesh Raiders back, but retrieving the holograms is the first task of your training.
No, Yuan, you can't risk a Padawan against Flesh Raiders, even for such important artifacts.
A Padawan who was stronger in the Force at 4 years old than I was at 15? Gifted students need greater challenges.
So I must recover these holograms and watch for flesh raiders. Where should I begin?
The holograms are in the Gnarls. Be vigilant. That region has dangers of its own. If you encounter any difficulties, contact me on this holocommunicator. When you have the holograms, meet me at the Jedi Temple. We have much to discuss.
So as you can see, there is a lot of storyline in this game. There's a lot of times when you'll be in dialogue that much. It's a pretty common thing at this point. But, in my opinion, it's a good thing. Storyline in this game is very well done and very fun to watch. If you notice, that was green when I walked through and then became red as I came out the other side. These are class areas. These are called phases. Basically the way it works is when it's green, you can enter, but no one else can enter unless it's green for them too. When you walk through that door, it is going to be an instance for just you and your party if you're in a party. When it's red, it either means you're not at that point yet, or you're not the right class. If you notice, it says Jedi Consular phase, but you're not eligible to enter this time. There's a lot of these areas like this, and you'll know if it's one of your areas or not because it'll be green. And your quest marker will lead you there, of course. Okay, so we are going to pause for a moment here so I can get DarkRelic over in the same area as me, and then we will jump right back in.